What is up, YouTube? And today we're going to be talking about the update coming to Epic 7 tomorrow. There is actually no maintenance, as you guys can see in the red here, so this will be an automatic update. The update really isn't an update, honestly. It's just a new character and another rerun of a banner. But that being said, we have a new hero here, Birgitta. I don't really know how to pronounce her name still. Very hard to pronounce. But she is a new hero. She is an Ice Soul Weaver. If we know anything about Smilegate, Ice Soul Weavers are always very good, usually. But this unit is going to be pretty much a JENUA counter. So if you look at her skills here, you'll see that her S1 is a single target attack that will decrease CR by up to 15% when the target is inflicted with block, which we'll see is a unique debuff that she has as of now. You'll see that the double the amount of CR decrease. So basically, if they have block, you reduce the CR of the enemy by 30%. If they don't, you'll reduce it by 15%. 30% is a lot, actually. So if you actually get this off with your S1 on a unit with block, that's going to be pretty crazy to actually cycle very quick. Next, we have her S2. So her S2 is a 2 debuff dispel from an ally, and will also CR push them by 50% and also give an extra turn to the casters. So very nice to cleanse, those annoying debuffs we have right now, ML Politics and stuff like that. Just cleanse them, push them up, and you'll get an extra turn to actually S3, Nothing Personal Kid, and it's featuring the target timing, which is pretty cool. It is a full buff strip from one enemy, and then you have a 100% chance to inflict bind and block. And block will make it so that you're unaffected by any buffs, some beneficial effects, and dispel debuff effects, except when granted by the bearer. And basically, you're going to use this on JENUAs. They can't actually get the rage from their S2. They can't get the, immortality as well. Also, they have the bind, which is going to be very annoying, so very, very powerful S3. Now, initially, I thought this wasn't actually AoE, and I was like, wow, this unit is super broken, but it is single target, and you can actually soul burn this to ignore effect resist. So, pretty much a unit that will be able to disable one unit pretty easily. Of course, this can get cleansed off, but the point of this is to actually, S3 JENUAs, and then you have one unit, Zeo, or literally anything that's fast, just one-shot the JENUA right after. I guess not Zeo, because Zeo would be faster than Birgitta, maybe like Zahak or even something like Last Piece Karin, right? So basically you just, disable the JENUA and you just delete him. Her animations look pretty sick, but I'm kind of sad that her animations, which look very nice, are kind of used on a unit that is mostly to counter just JENUA. I don't really know what other units you can counter, but this S3 is very powerful, so maybe this will end up being used a lot against very powerful, units. But not too sure. For now, this is going to be very strong against JENUA and just any single target, target that you want to actually disable and try to take out very quick. Next, we have her artifact. It is a Soul Weaver artifact, and you'll see after using a non-attack skill, you will acquire 20 souls. So this is pretty insane, not just for her. It is very good for her, obviously, because you S2, push up an ally, right, that you can one-shot the JENUA with, and then S3 to disable the JENUA, and with that, you'll be gaining 20 souls. But also because you can also use this on a lot of other aggressive Soul Weavers, right? So you can use this on like Death Dealer Ray, you can use this on Amelia, you can use this on a mid if you really wanted. Souls are super strong. The only thing is you need to max this out to get to 20 souls, which is like the sweet spot because a lot of good soul burns are 20. So you do need to max this out even for herself. If you want to get this S3 ignore effect resist off, you'll need this at, I believe, plus 27, right? Because you do get 3 souls from your S2, maybe a little bit lower on the levels, but you know what I mean, you need more than one copy. So that is a downside, but still a very powerful artifact if you max it out, not just for her, but for, like I mentioned, any other aggressive Soul Weavers that, don't really need any healing or dispels, right, from the other artifacts, just wants to be very, very aggressive, right? We already know how strong Toggelhel's Ancient Book is as a mage artifact. Like, you literally see it on pretty much almost every mage can run it, and it's never bad. So I'm pretty sure this artifact too will always be able to be used depending on what kind of team comp you want to run. And I actually really love the artwork in this. I think Smilegate has definitely stepped up their artwork game for the artifacts. And of course, because we have Birgitta coming out, we will also have her side story coming out as well, which you can go through and probably get all of her catalysts that you need here, which is very nice. And you'll see that her banner is running from the 16th of May until the 30th, 2 weeks. She's not limited. She's 2 weeks because she's a new unit, and new units always run for 2 weeks, right? So yeah, I think this unit is definitely a good unit to have. I don't know if she's like a must pull. In my eyes, she's primarily just a JENUA counter, and JENUA kind of doesn't have too many counters out there, right? The best counters I've seen are like Karina, right? Anything with stuns and stuff like that. But Brigida is a very good counter. You can deal with him very quickly. I don't know if I'd actually go for it. I probably will just to test her out. But if you have like Winter, Karina, they do very well. Both of the Espa units from the Espa collab do very well against JENUA. Anything with a stun, honestly, even like SC Arrowell can do okay if you just stun him and then proc his passive, right? So there's a lot of options to deal with him, honestly, but he still seems to cause a lot of trouble for players, especially newer ones. So maybe this is a very good option for you to actually deal with JENUAs. And for her artifact, I think you definitely want to buy this, at least one copy, even if you don't plan to max it out, because it just looks so dang good. Even if you get this to plus 15, it's going to be 15 souls, which is going to be very, very good for whatever aggressive soul you want to run this on. So I definitely think, Brigida and her artifact are definitely good choices to pull for. We just had a collab, right? So I'm pretty sure we'll be safe for a while before the summer limiteds come out. So it might be a good choice for you to actually pull on this banner to get her and her artifact. Next up, we have Urvalen. So this is like pretty much the end of the patch. Very, very small update, but we have Urvalen's banner. This unit sucks. Like, I don't really want to go into too much. He got buffed. He still sucks. Sucks in PvE. Sucks in PvP. Terrible unit. Sucks in the story. Sucks in the lore. Just a terrible unit. Like, Smilegate really needs to help him out. Just at least make him like somewhat usable in PvE, but he's just really bad. So I would definitely recommend just skipping him. His artifact, on the other hand, Double-Edged Crescent, is pretty good. So this is the Epic 7X page, just to see what the artifact does. As you can see, it's a Thief exclusive 5-star artifact, and it's pretty simple. Basically, it gives you 20% evasion at every level, so this does not scale with the levels. The thing that does scale with levels is the chance to counterattack after evading. If you max this out, you have a 30% chance to counter after you evade. This makes it very good on units such as Kayron. Definitely the best artifact you can have on him, because Kayron, once he procs his immortality, he gets evasion buff, and you just want him to counterattack over and over mostly. Also very good. It is the best artifact actually on Remnant Violet, if you like to use him. He's not the best unit in the game. Sometimes he is actually when he dodges a lot, but with this artifact, it makes him proc his passive into S3 a lot more often. Also, you can see this actually on Savior Aiden. So if you like to run Savior Aiden on more of a lifesteal set, bruiser build, this artifact is extremely, extremely good on her, because you're counterattacking when you evade, potentially, and then you hit super hard with your S1 anyway, so it makes it a very, very powerful artifact for her as well. But yeah, overall, I think this artifact, although it's very good, if you don't actually use those units, you probably don't need to buy it. It works pretty well even at one copy, although you do want to max it out. It does max out at 30% chance to counter, whereas at plus 15, I think it's 22.5. So, it is a big difference, but it still works sometimes. 50%, you either dodge and counter or you don't, right? So, yeah, pretty much it for this update. Pretty small. Honestly, kind of disappointing. I thought they'd have like at least some QOL changes or like buffs or something. I guess they're announcing buffs later, but it's literally just 2 banners featuring a new unit with a new side story. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are gonna end up pulling for her. I think I definitely will. Very good JENUA counter. She seems like a pretty fun unit. And honestly, she might end up getting a lot more value in the future if we get other units like JENUA with like, those annoying passives. And yeah, her artifact definitely looks like something I really want to get for my mid and like a million stuff like that when I do play aggressive. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next video.